What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk to you about Warhammer 40k news. For some reason, GW decided to unveil a bunch of information midweek, just after we gotten all the insights to the codices for the Necrons and the Space Marines, and they're like, you know what? This isn't enough news. Let's give them some more. So let's start with the biggest and most important one, and that is the changes to just units in general, and that is a keyword called core. So people were noticing that during the reveal, certain units such as the heavy intercessor squad had a new keyword, and that keyword core is one that's going to pertain to units that are quote unquote the core of an army. And that's very different because what this means is that aura abilities will only affect core units from a character's faction. They give the example of the Space Marine commander from the Indomitus box set as to how he can give his aura to intercessors, for example. However, he cannot do this aura for a repulsor executioner because it does not have the core keyword. So when I first heard this, it was a pretty big deal, because in our play group, we have a player who plays Raven Guard Primaris Marines, and he tends to castle up a lot, sticks his tank next to his commanders, and he just takes shots with like rerolls and whatnot. And it's very difficult because knowing Raven Guard, they already get a buff for being far away and you trying to shoot at them. So it's hard to get to him, and since he's castled up, the closer you get, the more firepower that's coming your way, and it's hard, it's difficult. So because of that, he was like, oh no, this rule is crap, it doesn't make sense. How is a captain not able to buff another captain or lieutenant? And I think it's kind of the same thing as how like managers can't be the manager of another manager. They're like on the same playing field. So yeah, technically he could say, hey, other Space Marine captain, go do this, and that captain can be like, sure, but he's the captain, like he's got his own bravado, his own ego to stroke. So I mean, it would make sense if they could bolster lieutenants and not lieutenants to captains, but I'm okay with this rule. It really makes static armies be a little bit more mobile, or to change up their tactics. But yeah, if you were 100% a castling Primaris or Space Marine player, that's not going to be the case anymore. And this isn't just affecting Space Marines. I believe this will be a new change affecting all the factions. So Tau castles may not be a great thing, but still, like having an Ethereal or a Fireblade, I still think like the core Fire Warriors, I'm pretty sure they're going to have the core keyword. If not, that's ridiculous. It'll still benefit them and they'll still be able to do their thing. But yeah, this is quite a little bit of a detriment to certain Space Marine players, for sure. And it's really cool because core, I don't think it's just going to be straight up infantry, like troop choices. Depending on the army, the core unit will change. And that's really cool because if you're playing like a Death Guard army that focuses on like resilient characters and units and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure like Poxwalkers are going to get the core keyword and not just Plague Marines. Iron Warriors, I'm really excited to see what that's going to be because they're known for using demon engines, so it'd be pretty amazing to have like Mauler Fiends or Decimators have the core keyword. So it's something to keep track of and actually pay attention to because it's pretty big. Like war abilities do sometimes turn the tides of war. Ooh, imagine not giving. I know they're gonna have it, but just imagine if like Khorne Berserkers didn't have the core keyword. Now like your aura ability of giving them even more attacks or a boost in like their toughness or something like that wasn't a thing, then yeah, that kind of sucks. But I'm pretty sure core units are going to be a lot more frequent because auras are important. Let's not forget about that. And then the article, which I have linked at the bottom of this page, it says that many elite units such as Terminators and the Lich Guard for Necrons, as well as Bike Squads and Tomb Blades, will come with the core keyword. So I feel like more units than not will have the core keyword. It's just like those, I don't know, like Chaplain Dreadnoughts or Whirlwinds won't have it. But the more quote unquote core units won't have it. So I don't think it's a big deal as most people say it is, but it's still pretty important. And I think by this point I'm just reiterating the same fact over and over again. So let's move on to the other news that was unveiled. And this one's a pretty interesting one because it deals with video games in 40k. So they announced that we are getting a VR game, a virtual reality game where you get to play as the Adepta Sororitas, aka the Sisters of Battle. So the game is called Battle Sister, and it's for the Oculus Quest or Oculus Quest 2, and it puts you, well, I guess, in the position of being a Sister of Battle. You get to use plasma pistol, bolt pistol, chain swords, and it looks to be pretty interesting because there's like images of like Chaos Terminators. So if you're really fighting against Chaos Terminators and you're just a regular Sister of Battle, that's going to be a difficult fight. But I don't know. I'm definitely intrigued because if this VR game is anything like VR porn, I'm all for it. But chances are it's not going to be anything like that. So Nash, close your ears because you probably like that a little bit too much. But anyway, if you're into VR games, definitely check this out. I never really got into VR. It gave me headaches for the most part. But hey, it might be good, might not. They do give us a launch date, which is the 12th of November. Does that remember the 12th of November from V for Vendetta? Yeah, well, that's how I'm going to remember for this game. But yeah, so we have one more bit of news before moving on with the end of the video. And that involves a new, well, I wouldn't say it's new, but a look in, well, no, it is new. It's a look into a Primaris Space Marine chapter within the pages of the White Dwarf. These guys look pretty cool. I mean, the color scheme with the silver and the yellow, the way it pops, it looks intimidating and awesome. And they look like they would be a successor of the Imperial Fists, but they're not. Silver Templars, you got the whole Black Templar thing, which it's leading to be like, oh, Dorn is their progenitor, but no, these guys are actually the successor chapters of the Ultramarines, which is a little strange. But of course, if it's not the Imperial Fists, it's got to be the poster boys of 40k, the Ultramarines. So they're really interesting when it comes to rules because their rules are very flavorfully. Lore-wise, these guys are strictly all Primaris Marines. They got none of the Firstborn Marines within their ranks. And they like to use bolters, and they're pretty good in close combat. They got a chapter tactic that allows them to re-roll a hit when you're shooting as well in close combat, which is pretty reminiscent of the Master Artisans. I think that's the trait for the Salamanders that allow you to re-roll one missed to hit and one missed to wound. But this is strictly just in the to hit for shooting and close combat. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. It's a different take because if you're using lieutenants, you might want to use more lieutenants with them because of their trait instead of going with captains. But still, they got some pretty decent options when it comes to relics. The Armor of Zenaris ignores AP 1 and 2, and that's crazy because if you're giving this to like your captain, for example, captains, depending on the war gear, like the storm shields and whatnot, they could potentially go to a 1+ with a 4+ invuln. If you're getting hit with an AP -1 and an AP -2, like, you're ignoring that. That's crazy. Like, that's going to be a very durable captain that you have to slay. Usually you want to be shooting at him with like a las cannon at this point to... I mean, yeah, you are going to have to go against his 4+ invuln, but still, like, it's going to be a durable dude. Oh, and did I mention that they also ignore mortal wounds on a 6+? Because when Mortal Wounds first came out, it seemed that like there's nothing you can do to ignore it, except if you have like Feel No Pain, Disgustingly Resilient. And no, more and more things are coming out that allow you to ignore mortal wounds, which I kind of don't like, because when you hear mortal wounds, you think of like smite, something that foregoes like force fields and armor. It's a blow so devastating, there's nothing you can do about it. And no, not anymore. Apparently this power armor is so durable, like freaking getting cracked by like a point blank shotgun las cannon, for example, can't do anything. That'd be pretty cool, a shotgun las cannon. Nice. There's a warlord trait called the Accomplished Duelist, which allows you to fight first and re-roll ones for the first round of combat. This is always a little tricky because whenever, like let's say your opponent charges you, they technically should go first. But does this mean that you go before them? Or maybe they go first and then you have the opportunity to, what's that one stratagem? Intercept and go next before all the other charges. Maybe this is like a free, you don't have to use command points to just intercept and go next. So we'll see what that actually entails when we get the more information on it. But anyway, I'm going to give you the links all down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. But I'm liking this. If this is a trend, I can't wait to see this every time a white dwarf comes out, to see what's the next featured chapter, usually successor chapter, because as we all know, Space Marines don't get enough love. Oh, GW. I mean, it's cool. I don't know why, but yeah, Space Marines always get the love. It's like, why can't we get like a custom sept for the Tau that comes out every once in a while, or a new craft world that was discovered by the Eldar, and you get new traits and abilities and whatnot. But no, let's look at the successor chapters for the Ultramarines, because I'm sure everybody wants that. Yeah, it is what it is, right? So, what are your thoughts on everything? Do you like the changes to core units and the changes to the auras of characters? Are you going to be getting that VR game, or are you going to stick to VR porn? And what do you think of these Silver Templars? Yeah, let me know your thoughts below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll see you then. Peace.